Good day to you, miss.
Good, dreary, wet day, which brings us to our recipe this week. We're making beef pho, which is a Vietnamese soup noodle, and it's perfect for dreary days like this. In my recipe book, the link's here, you will find the recipe for Phở Bò, which is the chicken version of this soup noodle. And I've just made some adjustments to that recipe, but essentially it's about the same in terms of how to make it. We're starting off with some beef that I had already parboiled. You put your beef bones or whatever meat you're using into the boiling water and let it boil for about 10 to 15 minutes. And all the impurities and the things that you don't want to eat kind of surface into this, like, oh, what do I call it? Scum. It's kind of like scum.
That's a good description.
At the top of your water, and that's what you don't want, because we want a clear broth to have with our noodles. So I've already parboiled my bones. I have about 2.5 pounds of beef shin, which are these ones. And I have about 1.5 pounds of just beef bones that you can find. And I also have 1 pound of beef brisket down there. I don't know if can you see it?
Yes.
This one here.
Okay.
And this one, we're actually going to slice in the end to put in our soup. This is the one that we're going to eat. The other one, the other bones and meat is just for flavor. I want to make sure that I have the instructions right.
I hear that that cookbook is pretty good.
Well, I don't want to mislead people. Yeah, this is exactly what I was going to do anyways.
Oh my Lanta.
Turning our Instant Pot on saute mode and adjust for high heat. Is that more?
Sure.
Yeah, it says more right here.
All right.
Okay, slicing up my ginger. I would prefer having 2 onions, but I only have 1, so I'm going to use what I have. If you have 2 onions, that would be better. All right, I hate peeling onions. I have a really hard time. Look, that's not even like nice. I have a really hard time getting the peeling up. But you know what? You don't even need to peel it really, because sometimes the skin adds a little bit of color.
Mm-hmm. Just as long as you don't eat it.
That's right. Well, I'm going to peel it anyways. I have 1 onion. You can use 2. And I'm going to cut it in half. And that's it.
Minus the thumb.
Minus the thumb. I have 3 ounces of ginger. So this is about 3 ounces of ginger.
Aren't you going to say the size of a thumb?
Well, it's bigger than a thumb, isn't it? It's like a big, giant, swollen thumb like you see on cartoons. So you're going to slice this up.
I'm going to gift you like a knife skills class or something.
You know what? That thumb helps me. I'm not sticking it in so that I'm going to chop it off. Just saying. So once the pot says hot, you can add your oil. So I'm just using vegetable oil. I'm going to use about 1 tablespoon. But I have to say, I really like this oil bottle because it doesn't drip off the spout.
I know, seriously, guys. This oil bottle, we've gone through so many.
We have, yeah, so many, and they all drip, except this one.
But this wasn't from, we found it locally.
Yeah.
Guys, if we find it on Amazon,
Yeah,
we'll list
we'll add
it
it.
below.
Add it to our shop. Okay, I'm just moving the oil around so that the bottom of the pot is covered. And we are going to blacken the onion and the ginger. And I'll show you what that means. I wanted to stick my hand in there. I saw that this ginger wasn't touching the oil. Okay, we're just gonna let that sit and burn, basically. This is the only time that you're allowed to burn your food, okay? All right, it's been 5 minutes. Look at how black it is already. You can see. Okay.
Whoa, dude. Like, can you do that any faster?
Oh, sorry. Now my onion is broken like that. Okay, I'm just gonna turn some of this stuff around, or flip it so that we can get the other sides charred. And then that'll be another, I guess, 5 minutes, because it's already been 5 minutes, right?
Wow. That smells amazing, dude.
It is. It's really, really actually, I want to say pungent, but not in a bad way. All right. I think that's sufficiently charred and brown. I'm going to turn off the saute mode and add the rest of the ingredients. Adding the beef back in. Well, not back in. Adding the beef in. It wasn't in there to begin with. When you're parboiling, and after you finish parboiling, rinse all of the bones underwater, and you'll see that there's like black gunk that comes out of the bones, and you'll just wash all of that stuff off. I'm also adding 1 cinnamon stick, about a tablespoon of yellow rock sugar, and if you don't have yellow rock sugar, you can just use a tablespoon of regular sugar, 2 star anise, and 4 cloves. Can you see them?
Yep.
I'm using half a teaspoon of ground coriander, a teaspoon of salt, and salt you can always add after as well, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that. And we're going to use about 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. And then we're going to cover this with water. And I'm using about 8 cups of water. I added another cup or so, so total 9 cups, because I wanted that meat to be completely covered. And now I'm going to put the lid on.
Sealing knob. Cut.
Making sure the sealing knob is on sealing, and we're going to pressure cook it on high. I'm just pressing manual. I think on a lot of the Instant Pots today it actually says pressure cook, so press that button and bump it up to, I'm gonna say 60 minutes. Usually on the stovetop it can take up to 6 hours, so I think 60 minutes will be good. And then we will do the fun part after, which is to assemble.
Hey.
Hey, so the soup has finished cooking and it smells amazing.
It does.
So I removed the brisket from the soup and I stuck it in the fridge to cool down while I prepared the rest of the ingredients. And I'm just slicing up my brisket now to serve with the noodles. So usually it's served with some very thin slices of a raw sirloin that kind of heats up in your bowl of noodles, but I didn't pick any of that up. I'm just going to serve this with brisket because this is usually what we order, but you are welcome to go pick up some sirloin if you like. If you have an Asian grocery store, often they have like pre-sliced sirloin in the freezer section that are all rolled up and they're ready for hot pot. So if you buy that, it's perfect because you can just put that in your soup and it'll just cook it up when you put your hot soup in the bowl. All right, looks yummy. Smells really good.
How long in the was it in the pressure cooker?
60 minutes. And then it kept warm for a while because I wasn't home. Mm-hmm. But otherwise it looks so clear. Okay, some green onion, some cilantro, some bean sprouts,
Wow. That looks amazing.
Yeah, well, it smells amazing and now it looks amazing too. So when we go out for pho, it usually costs about $40 to $50 for our family because it costs about $10 per bowl of pho these days. And all of this probably cost about $25.
Do you remember when a bowl of pho used to cost like
$5?
And then
Yes.
and then $6 for the extra large?
Yeah, not even. It was like $5.50 for the extra large, or you either had regular size or large. So for 50 cents more, of course you get the large, right? So to assemble your pho, after you make the soup, you'll need about a pound of rice stick noodles, and you cook them according to the instruction on the package. I bought fresh ones, so it only took 10 to 15 seconds to cook in boiling water. I chopped up 4 green onions. I used up half a bunch of cilantro. Some of it I chopped, some of it I served on the side. I have 4 stems of the Thai basil, half a pound of bean sprouts, some chili peppers, and about half a lime cut into quarters. If your lime is not too juicy, you might want to use a whole lime and just cut that into 4 segments. And that would serve 4. But this soup, you'll probably have some left over. It makes quite a bit.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. And now it's time for...
Dive on in. The taste. This looks amazing. When you open up the Instant Pot lid, it was like the aroma coming out of it was, wow, so fragrant, so much goodness coming out of that pot. So what I usually do is that I love my accoutrement, which is basil leaves, like all the greens, like the cilantro, a lot of different textures in here. You got the crunch of the bean sprouts, softness of the noodles, of course, and the meat. And when you put it all in your mouth, it's like all these textures hitting you at once with the basil leaf whole, don't like shredding it. And what I do is that I don't eat it with the chilies whole. That would just kill me. They usually serve it up with the jalapenos in the restaurants. So what I do is that I plunge the jalapeno into the hot soup, swish it around a little bit, and it releases a lot of the heat. And then I take it out, because then it's like, then I can measure it to my taste. So here it goes. The soup is a lot of flavor. I would probably think we need to, at least we have the option to make it a little bit more salty.
Okay, so I did say earlier that I'm only putting in a teaspoon of salt and a couple of tablespoons of the fish sauce.
I think we need more.
Right, so we could always adjust later, but if you make it too salty to begin with, there's no going back.
Right, if you overshoot it, then you're done. This is a great start in terms of the depth of the beef flavor. And so, I don't know if you can add fish sauce afterwards, but maybe next time more fish sauce. And then
we can add it after.
Yeah, you can?
Yeah.
So a little bit more salty, more of the fish sauce hit, and it would be heaven. But it's really good right now. So excuse me while I tuck into this.
All right, thanks, dude. All right, everyone, make sure you try this recipe. You won't be disappointed. It's so good. Regularly, it takes like 6 hours on the stove, so an hour in the Instant Pot is nothing. And it's really simple to make. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want to check out some more Asian recipes, you can check them out down there as well. Till next time, be simple, ordinary, and joyful.